There it is. Hi guys, welcome to day 2. Takes a few minutes here to see if it is actually live. Looks like we're live. All right. Get my phone up so I can see any comments that come in. A second to see if a couple more people can be on. Feel free to leave me a comment. I would love to hear if you did yesterday's challenge, how it feels to delete people, unfollow, hide, mute, unfriend if needed, block if really necessary. That is very important. We need to do all the things at all of the different levels to make sure that we are finding our focus and sanity. So go ahead and say hello, give me a wave if you're here with me. Just checking my multi-device so I can check in on any comments that might be coming in. And then we're gonna dive on in. So I would love to hear again, if you're coming on, give me a wave, say hey in the comments. If you watch the replay, let me know by dropping replay in the comments. So I wanna see how many people are on live versus watching later. The videos too, if you come on live and you can't stick around for the whole thing, I have units set up. So if you look at the top of the group, when you're in there on Facebook. Currently, Unit 1 is complete with yesterday's video and some of the resources that I shared for you guys to go ahead and do the challenge. So take a look at those units. I'm going to have those updated every day so that you can keep track of what you're doing. If you join the group today or whenever you join the group, it's always going to be there for you to go through the process. So day 2 of our challenge. Also, as you hop in, let me know if you did the exercise, if you did the challenge. Yesterday, we talked about introducing the challenge, kind of why I wanted to come about doing this at a time where with COVID, people's businesses, jobs, careers, lives are just changing, turning upside down. And social media is a necessary evil, I guess we can call it, for those who don't like it. Even those who love it, like myself, we see and encounter the evil in it as well. So I wanted to do this as a way to, also, normalize the anxiety that comes with social media. I've been doing this for 10 years and I still have a lot of it myself. And I see how it gets in my own way or has gotten in my own way. What I hate seeing is how it gets in my clients or just people I know, how it gets in their way because of the current atmosphere or the feelings that come along with social media, regardless of the time in our world. There are a lot of struggles that come along with it. So I wanted to do this challenge to work through those things and also introduce some very specific tactics and techniques that I use with clients. Historically, it's been around focus and process, right? But now these tactics for focus and process are also the same things that help us get away from the madness and dive into the intention and purpose of using social media, which may be for you, to build a brand, to build a business, to sell online versus offline, to teach classes, whatever that might be. So we're going to dive in today and talk a little bit more about Facebook specifically. So we're going to cover other channels throughout the week as well. We talked a little bit more about the personal newsfeed yesterday, which also helps in doing business and other things on Facebook. But today we're going to focus a little bit more specifically on the Facebook page. So even if you're not using one, I want to give you some ideas here and ways that you can use it a little differently than you may expect. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen over here. And let me see if this is going to work. Oh, not that one. I always have to, just like when I'm teaching my fitness classes, I always have to have a hiccup. Hiccups along the way. All right, we're going to switch the screen share over. So today, we are going to talk about getting in and getting out. And what that means is finding your focus in using Facebook pages. And I want to go back to something though. I was very excited. Yesterday I started with why I'm doing this. I gave you a little brief overview of that again today, but I was very honored. There's a lot of words on the screen. You can look at it later on, but I just wanted to share this because this is exactly why I'm doing this in somebody else's words. Okay. A friend of mine I saw share this with the group with an invitation to her friends to join. And I was just so moved and so happy that this is what came through for her. And so I wanted to share this because this is my hope for you guys and for anyone else that you might want to share this with. And what I saw her post said is, many of you know I left Facebook because the negativity, hate, anxiety, and anger was impacting my ability to be effective in the work I'm doing in the world. I saw no more value. In fact, I reactivated my account only to post a job and literally felt nauseous doing so. Then, as serendipity would have it, I was having dinner with my friend, me, a social media consultant and overall wizard and amazing human, thank you, told her about the group I was creating designed to help people not lose their minds with their Facebook feeds. I just listened to today's episode, and for the first time in months, I feel hopeful that maybe I can rejoin the phenomenon that social media is, but with a massively cleansed feed. I miss some of you. Facebook is the only connection I have to many of you. Making friends with over 50 people that she met on Facebook. So she's giving it a chance again because of this. And I also know that she is moving on to start her own business, and that's a struggle, getting off of Facebook, but knowing that a huge amount of your potential community and audience is there is an issue. So I'm hoping that, this gives her the freedom that she's seeing already and gives all of you that same thing. So with that, I want to dive into today's topic, which is avoiding the avoidable. See, all of these things that create the fears and create the anxiety, and we, see the negativity, or, the other thing that distracts us in social media isn't just the scrolling, whether it's cute dogs, cute babies, or doom scrolling. It also can be that temporary ego boost, right? I think we can all admit to posting something and then going out there in hopes of seeing the likes and the hearts and the shares and the great words about it. And then we may go in and do that, and we see that, and then we feel great. Or we might go in and then we don't see that, and we're like, oh my God, what happened? I thought I put this great thing out. What happened? And then we're continuing to recycle our notifications. So, it could be a temporary ego boost that ends up as a downer. So all of these things, however, if we set things up in the right way, we can avoid the avoidable. We can avoid the distraction, the anxiety, the negativity, and whatever result of that temporary ego boost we're seeking, whether that is trying to grab more of it or taking us back down again. So I want to show you how to do that. And when I was thinking about this process, I actually thought of the term ghosting. And this is not quite the same, but here's why. And so, hey, Christina, hey, Catherine, hey, Susan, welcome, friends. So I thought of the term ghosting because, I know a lot of people experience this, not everybody. I'm one of those people that does. People are surprised when I say that I'm actually one of those ambiverts, because when I'm with people that I love, or, doing things that I love, I'm very extroverted, but I tap out, and then sometimes I just shut down and I need to be alone and quiet, and the sound even starts to get to me, too much stimulation. And so this is something that happens a lot if I'm at a big party. Obviously, there's not a lot of that happening right now, but if I'm at a big party or a big event or a big dinner or even a networking event, and it may be that I'm energetically ready to go, or maybe I'm ready to go because I have to do something else, right? And we know that in the process of saying goodbye, we could lose a lot of time, or we could have even more of that very valuable energy taken away from us. So I think about a lot of networking events too, where there's those certain people that if they get you and they start talking to you, you're in for a long number. And then if you're already anxious, it's really hard to just cut somebody off with that boundary setting, right? So, ghosting then is, there's all these people around and I need to find a way to dart around these people so that I don't have to say goodbye or get caught up in other conversation or get caught up in more energy that I need to protect. And so I admit to this being something I would do, maybe tell someone I'm going to use the ladies' room and then I just escape out the side, things like that to protect that energy, but not have to dive through the madness to get to the other side. And so that's really how I thought about it, was that it's really about what you're avoiding to take the step you need to take. And so when it comes to your Facebook pages, what most of us do is we go online, we go into Facebook, and then before we click those buttons to get on our pages, boom, there's that news feed. There's the stories at the top. Oh, here's a cute dog picture. Oh, here's some news that's making me angry and agitated. What can I say about that? And that all happens in milliseconds before we even get the opportunity to move our mouse over or move our finger over to tap on our page to do what we came there to do, which is maybe to post content, to respond to people's comments on our brands, to check on an ad, to interact with people in our community. So what I want to show you today is how to avoid some of these things. And something else that I also thought of, however, is, well, a lot of this is about scrapping old habits for new habits. The important thing is gaining that focus while avoiding the anxiety and distraction. But it serves another purpose beyond avoiding in that moment and staying present with what we're intending to do. Because when we actually are able to create these new habits and use these new processes and get things done in ways that we never did before, that's way better than that temporary ego boost we might get from going on Facebook and seeing how much love we got on our video or our photo, right? When we are able to scrap old habits and create new ways of doing things that make us more successful and productive, those are those long-term confidence builders that then do away with that need to get that tick of that temporary ego boost from what people are saying about what we're doing on social media. And once we get used to that process, we get used to those new habits, it also helps us to avoid the negativity, the distraction, and alleviate some of that social media anxiety, because now this is just simply a new way of operating. And I tell you, I've been doing this myself, and it makes an enormous difference. Do I still go down the rabbit hole sometimes and get those distractions? I do, of course. And that's when I try to come back to what I introduced yesterday, was the stop method, which is stop, take a deep breath, see if is there really any opportunity in what I'm doing, and bring ourselves back to purpose. So when we can scrap old habits for new ones and do things in this new way, it helps us alleviate these things and be more productive, feel better about ourselves, and continue that cycle. It tells us that we can accomplish these things. So I'm going to switch over now, and I'm actually going to get onto my Facebook page and so show you some of these kind of process hacks and tips so that you can set this up for yourself. So I'm going to come on over here and share my Facebook page or account. I'm going to start with the Facebook account. So as you can see, if we did by normal process, and I'm like, okay, I need to go in and do something on my page, the start is normally this right here, right? I come onto Facebook, or it might be on my device, and then, oh, look at the dog. Oh, there we go. It's all over already, right? Or I start to scroll and then go, wait, this is what I meant to do. I meant to come over here to my page, click my page, and go there. Okay, so we already are met with a distraction. So here's what I suggest you do. What I have done is simply, if I come in and I open my browser and my default page, let's say, is just Google, I don't even have to go to my Facebook profile, because I have set up bookmarks up at the top, so I can just click that bookmark and go right to my Facebook page without having to rely on the navigation of Facebook to get in there. And so I have my own, I have my clients. So if I know I need to do something, I go in and I do my thing on the page, and then I get out, because I'm less likely to get distracted on the way out than I am on the way in, right? Because I've accomplished what I've set out to do. I haven't seen Facebook. I haven't seen my personal notifications. And so I can accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish. And so for me, also what's been really important in my life right now is groups. I'm a member of a lot of groups where I'm doing some coaching and some personal and professional growth. I'm creating groups. I've got my fitness group. I've got this group, which I definitely plan to keep living on beyond this 5-day challenge. And so that's another thing then that I want to stay focused on. So again, if I want to go to my group, I'm either trying to type the URL in to avoid Facebook or going in and searching for those things on the left navigation, and thus getting distracted again. So I'm actually in the process of setting up all my new groups into another bookmark, but that's something I recommend. And, I hope this helps you with another idea. It's an easy idea that people know about this feature. It's just, we don't think of always using it in this way. And I've had a lot of clients that I've shared this idea with that were like, oh my gosh, sometimes it's just that, oh, right, I never thought of doing that in that different way. So this is another way to get in, do your thing, and move on. Now, I want to show you another tactic that I've been actually working with clients and teaching this for a very long time until in the recent Facebook layout, they took it away. How many of you leave a note in the comments, whether you're live now or if you're watching the replay, how many of you have used the Facebook pages feed where you can follow other pages and then use the Facebook pages feed to interact as your brand? Another way to get in and do your thing as your business or your brand without getting distracted. So this was such a great feature. And then all of a sudden one day I went to the pages feed, which used to just be, you would go to your Facebook page and there was actually a URL that said pages feed will be, and then it would just go back to the page. And I was like, what? Because there was also a button. There was a little button over on the side of the page, which would now be probably over here, but it is not. And so I posted one of my rant and raves about Facebook on Facebook saying, oh my God, this is an important process that I use to interact as my brand with other brands, to do content curation for clients, to do, trend analysis for content. And it was just gone. And and by luck of the draw, a friend of mine, I did not know this, but she actually works at Facebook. And so we did some chatting and she also was kind of hunting and pecking in the background, but I was so grateful she did this for me and helped me to discover that they have moved it, but the feature hasn't come back yet. So you have to sort of hack the system. And that's what I'm going to show you now, because the feature isn't specifically highlighted on your page, but you can still make it happen. So I'm going to start by, unfortunately, yes, one of the things we're working on today is avoiding the Facebook personal feed, but we're going to do that to start this process. So what we can also do here is, let's say, let me find a page. Actually, I had my friend's nonprofit page. Oh, nope, that went away. So I'm going to come, okay, here. So I'm going to go to a page. So I like this page. This is my friend Tanya's nonprofit. Very important. I highly recommend you follow it as well. But I follow it as Sue, my person. But what I want to show you now is that I can follow it as my page. So if I click, these 3 little dots on the top right of all the things are always your best friend. So if I click on these 3 little dots, I can actually click this button and say, like as your page. And then I have lots of clients that I help manage. So there's a big drop down coming, but I will pick mine and say, I want to like Paxa as Sue Koch. This is my brand page because it says page and this is the picture I have on that. So that's how I know that. And then I submit. And so now I like it as my page. And then you're probably like, well, great. Now, where is it if I can't get to that pages feed anymore, right? So here's what you do. Again, we've got to work the system again. So if I go back using our first tip to my bookmark to avoid the Facebook feed again and just go right to my page from my bookmark. What I can do here is I'm going to continue to keep an eye out for this feature to pop back. It used to say see pages feed, but that is not here. Let's see if it has appeared over here. It has not. So what you can do is simply go to the top address bar, add the new URL, which is now newsfeed. Okay, huge tech company. I do not know why they didn't think to simply redirect pages feed to newsfeed and drive everyone mad. But here we are. So here's now the new secret, the secret place that you can now go to see all the pages that you like as your brand. So this is our second tactic to avoid the personal Facebook newsfeed, is by following pages as your page, which is going to take a little willpower because we're going to go in, to the personal newsfeed, search pages, and then follow them as our page. But then you can come through here and act as your business. Now, when you're in this newsfeed, just like on your personal newsfeed, it's going to give you suggestions for other pages that you could like as your brand based on the ones that you already like, either as your person or as your brand, right? So if I can either scroll through here and say, yes, I want to see what, Small Business Saturday always has going on. I love Brene Brown. I love Simon. And we can look through here and see who else is showing up. Follow Julie, follow Ted. And then I can click see more to see, what other pages it might be suggesting for me. Now, it would be nice if on this page, there was a search function, right? So that we didn't have to go back to the personal news feed and get distracted again. But this is a great way to start this process. So the other thing that I'll recommend you guys do is to make a list, and so that you don't have to do it online, right? If we start searching for these things, we're going to get distracted and distracted out of purpose. So what I suggest is take a notepad and write down the top 10 brands, leaders. Something else I've been mindful of in the last few days is I really don't like the term influencers anymore. And as opposed to saying, let's think about the influencers you want to follow, because that has so many connotations, right? I rather think of it as who are the leaders that you want to follow? Because a leader is also, yes, an influencer, but not all social media influencers are leaders. And that's a big distinction. And that distinction is another point of clarity that is going to help us get out of that distraction zone, right? So don't just follow influencers, follow leaders first. So make yourself a list of brands, leaders, news articles, trusted news and media sources that you want to stay connected to. And the reason for that is a few things from just pure social media strategy perspective. You want to follow people as your brand that also attract audiences similar to yours, so that as you engage and interact in that community, they may also follow your page, right? The other thing is curation. I might see some really interesting articles in here on social media updates and changes from some of the leaders that I follow, and then I can share that information with my audience. So you get a lot of productivity out of that. And this feature is something that allows us to, again, get in and get out with purpose without getting distracted and anxious and exposed to a lot of this negativity. So the next thing I'm going to do here then is I'm going to take this URL and drag it into my bookmark so that I don't have to go and type that in again and potentially get distracted. So those are the two tactics I wanted to show you today. One other thing that I also wanted to share, I'm going to do a little switch over to my phone, because all of this that I'm showing you here is done on the desktop, right? That's great. We may also do a lot of work on our desktop, but a lot of people may not. So the way that you can do this on your phone is a little different, right? So we actually are not going to be able to necessarily do the follow. Well, that might be able to do the following as our page. I still have to test that on the new app. But what I want you to do is make sure that you have the Facebook Pages app on your phone, and it looks different. And that's why I wanted to point this out, because something that, Facebook has made another change. And so what it used to be is this orange flag, right? And that's what I still have. I still see this orange flag for the Facebook Pages app. But if you go to your app store and you go look up Facebook Pages app, if you don't have it yet, it looks a little bit different because they've made some big difference or made some big changes to it. So now you're going to see this, right? So while the one I have still has the flag on it, if you're downloading the app now, new, it looks different. And if you haven't been in it in a while, I know I was just like, wow, when I went in it one day, it asked me to walk through all these steps again. And it's actually pretty nice because it gives you Instagram and Facebook all in one place where you can post and schedule and manage comments and messages and all of those things all in one place. So this is then sort of the phone version of avoiding the personal news feed to go right into your page. So if you have something to do to manage your brand, you want to download this app. And then when you open this app, all you can do is manage your pages. You're not going to see your personal news feed. Okay. So make sure to download the app so that you can stay sane on your phone as well as on your desktop. So I hope this has been helpful. We've got our challenge steps for today. But one of the things that I just wanted to reiterate, kind of going back to, the purpose of all of this, and hopefully, again, this is giving you some ideas about how you can do things differently to be more productive, do things well, strong, focused, so that your business can succeed, whatever that may be. And that it will also help to shift that mindset, because your ability to establish this new habit is going to continue to serve you, to give you more and more confidence that you can do things differently. And by doing that, you're detaching further and further from that negativity and distraction that Facebook presents us and social media presents us. So you'll find yourself more at peace with it, and you won't want to go back to those old ways. So I hope these processes work for you. Here is our challenge day 2. So I'm always going to ask you to use stop. Keep doing that, because that's that pattern interrupt that we want to use as we start doing this doom scrolling, and we find ourselves going, wait, stop. This isn't what I came here to do. So then the other thing is go ahead and set up bookmarks. Or another option is to drag and drop those URLs onto your desktop. I like to have them just structured in a list. So they're right there on my browser window instead of having to toggle back and forth to the desktop, but that's certainly another option. So set those bookmarks up so you just go right to the page, right to your group for your intentional use of social media, and then use them. Don't just set them up, but remember to use them. Put them somewhere where they're right in front of your eye, right? If you have a lot of bookmarks, it may go way over to the right side, but put them right front and center where you will see them and use them. And then I said, we're always going to do things that are going to uplift, right? Part of this is also to uplift other people and end on a positive note. And that is to then just share something on your Facebook page or profile that you were inspired by today. And you can use the hashtag social sanity challenge. Please feel free to invite other people to this group, like my friend in her post that I showed you at the beginning. I'm just really excited that even after one day, people are starting to see some differences and have some hope that they can use these things in different ways, be more successful by being there, but not build that anxiety and be faced with all of that negativity. So, and then come back to the group and come back to the group and leave a post and, let us know what you've done. And if you're starting to see any differences in what the news feed is presenting to you, if you're starting to, see those habits change. Of course, that's not going to happen in just a couple of days. But like I said, this group is going to live on beyond the challenge, because people can come in whenever and start with day 1. So I'd love to see, as time goes on, as your habits are changing, your news feeds are changing, if you're seeing some more positivity as well as success as you dive in. So thank you guys again for joining me. I'm going to take a look at some of the other comments that have, you have and that's okay, Monica, that you still have the orange flag. The features are still updated. It's just now, I think if you download the new app, it's just going to look a little bit different. And sometimes I do, just to make sure I have everything current and clean out any old bugs. Sometimes I will delete an app and just reinstall it, even if there isn't a update noted, because that sometimes that just helps as a reset sometimes. So that's really good. Used to do that, but it went away. Your bookmark or let me know. Monica, if you still have a question on that one, let me know. Yeah, bypass the news feed. Yes, that is the goal. So avoid that bad energy, go in and work on the good. All right, so keep leaving comments. Come back, let me know how it's going. Spread some positivity, zone in on your purpose. And I will see you tomorrow again at 3 p.m. And then on Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna go live at 9 a.m. So mixing things up a little bit. But again, I'm gonna set up unit 2. This video will be pinned to the top of the group. And then we can continue to do that each day. So you can always find the work in the units on the top of the group. So have a great day, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.